up, tribe? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review of Ready to Love Season 3, Episode 11. So, I'm really not sure why we had this episode. I feel like this was just a waste of an episode and a way to stretch this whole thing out. But let's get into it. So, we pick up where we left off with at the last minute in the 12th hour and the 59th second. AJ decides that Kyra is not the person he wants to send home. He actually wants to send home Alexis because he just can't let Kyra go. And it's just unfinished business. And he just never really gave everything a 100% chance between him and Kyra because he was just caught up in, in everything else. Neither here nor there. He don't let Kyra go. He then goes to Alexis and lets Alexis go. Now, Alexis says, listen, I feel played. Because at the end of the day, I chose you. And I told you that I chose you. And so I feel like we had a connection. I'm not sure what happened, what went wrong. But I do feel some kind of way about this whole situation. Now, I'm going to say this. I get it that you chose him. But that is just the way this game goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That is what it is. At the end of the day, we choose people in this situation. And then the next week, they go home. It's happened. We've seen it happen this season. So I feel her. I'm sorry about it, Alexis, but okay. Now we get to the ladies' lounge and we're down to Amber, Kyra, Liz, and Renisha. Now when Liz comes strolling up in there, baby, when Kyra comes strolling up in there, baby, Liz has to do a little double take because she thought that she had this thing sewn up. She said, wait a minute. I thought AJ chose Alexis. What is this? And so Tommy, he comes through and he says, listen, Alexis, it's her time to go and we still here. We got a little unfinished business and, this is the last week. So we want everybody to go on a more intimate date. Now, he didn't say go have sex with nobody. He said some hand holding, some snuggling, luggling, And if it come to whatever, we grown. Y'all grown. Do what you do. So after Tommy leaves, the ladies are having a conversation and Kyra explains that, she got some unfinished business, that she still hasn't really made up her mind, that she's glad that, AJ kept her around, but AJ respects the fact that he ain't done. And Liz is like, but I am. But Jason's done. We done. We good. And she said that, she felt some kind of way because she felt like Kyra made it seem like the only reason why Jason chose her is because she wouldn't give Jason a definitive answer. And she said, I felt some kind of way about that because I felt like she was basically saying I was a consolation prize. And that ain't really sit too well with me. And I could understand that. But, Liz kept her cool. She ain't getting nasty or had no attitude. But I could definitely tell that she really wasn't happy about the situation. So, the first day is Joelle and Renisha. Listen, they cool, they good, they got over their little hump. Basically, Renisha was like, listen, I always chose you. I never chose nobody else, but we done got through it. I think last week showed that we could go through something and still find our way back to each other. And for that, I'm appreciative of. I feel like that's a great thing, and that is what it is. Okay, yeah. Then we have Kris and Amber. Amber. Listen, it was a good conversation. It was what it was, yada, yada, yada. The only thing that really came out of that whole situation is that Kris let Amber know that he is currently celibate. Now, listen, there are two types of celibate in this world, okay? There is the celibate like Liz is celibate, like I'm holding on until marriage because this is my spiritual belief celibate. And then there's the I'm celibate because I'm in between relationships and I'm just not trying to give it up to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes along or Sally, Sue, Shelly that comes along. I'm protecting my peace and I'm not giving my body to everybody I date, right? Kris is that. Kris is not the I'm celibate until marriage because Kristen already said he don't know if he even believes that he don't even feel like he need to get married. They talking about having kids and Amber like, well, how we gonna have kids? How sway? But I feel like because Kris was like, listen, I'm still a man You know, I could probably be swayed. And Amber let him know and was very clear. Well, listen, I need that loving, okay? I'm not celibate. I ain't trying to be celibate. I don't want to be celibate, and I need that loving, okay? Your sweet, sweet loving, in the words of the immortal Temptations, okay? Baby, I need your loving. And she was very upfront about it. And again, I can respect that. She was like, listen, this ain't, no. So in that moment, I felt like if you were really that committed to your, you know, like Liz let people know up front, that was a part of Liz's conversation with people when she went out on these dates. Like, listen, I am celibate and I really have no intention of giving it up. Although I think Liz gonna give it up. I'm just saying. I don't think Liz and Jason waiting. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so I mean, Amber felt a little some kind of way about it, but I think at the end of the day, girl, throw some rose petal down and some candles and some oil. Give them a good little oil massage and some lingerie, girl. Y'all will be rolling in the deep. Okay, moving on. So then we have Jason and Liz. They had a very nice date, and Liz asked him point blank, listen, if Kyra had given you a definitive answer and said it's you, would you have chosen me? And what I can appreciate is that Jason was like, yes. He said, I had pretty much made up my mind, but I did, you know, because we did have a connection, I did need to kind of hear it from her. But no, we would still be where we are. Then he got up and he got her a white rose. And he said, listen, I've only given 2 other women in my life a white rose before. That was my mom and my stepmom. To me, a white rose symbolizes, now he didn't say he never gave a white roses. He said a white rose, okay? He said, to me, a white rose symbolizes purity, and I see that in you. I think that you are a woman of pure heart. You know, you are a woman of standard, and I appreciate that. And of course, Liz is crying and boo-hooing, and she said for her, that was it. That's why I said, Liz and Jason probably could have got it that night. Okay? Anyway. So then we have AJ and Kyra on the date. Listen, Kyra still can't commit to AJ. And AJ was like, because she was like, well, where are we at right now? AJ was like, if you don't know, then I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I chose you. Like, you know where I stand. You clearly don't know where you stand. And at this point, I feel like Kyra and AJ deserve each other, because I feel like AJ has been playing this game to get to the end. And I feel like Kyra's been playing this game to get to the end. The fact that that he chose you, and you still are sitting here like, well, I don't know, because I feel some kind of way about the situation with Jason, and because at the end of the day, what it says to me, Kyra, is you mad that Jason made a decision. You're mad that somebody, because at the end of the day, one of them had to make a decision, because the women were not empowered, the men were. And both of them asked you point blank, are you going to choose me? And you couldn't give either one of them a definitive answer. And if it was up to me, your ass should have went home, because hell, at least Alexis was clear on what she wanted. But I understand the heart wants what the heart wants, or the nether region wants what the nether region wants, okay? But, you know, he told her, he said, listen, this is what I want. Like, I feel like, you know, me and you could make a good couple. We can make a good connection, and this is what I want. So by this time, I'm sitting here thinking, why are we even having this episode? All of the couples are coupled up. Like, let's go on and just make them choose so we can get down to the last 3 and have a reunion. Because at this point, I'm just not sure what the hell we still talking about. I don't know why we here. How sway? Anyway, so we get back to Tommy, and all the ladies are talking about their intimate date and how great their date was and how wonderful it was. Amber let them know that Kris is celibate. He said that he is retaining. What did he say? He's retaining his semen? However he worded it, child. But that, you know, basically she said, we talked about it. Sex is important to me. I feel like it's not a non-negotiable. I mean, I feel like this is not something that he is stuck in. I feel like I could seduce him and get what I want, so I ain't really tripping. That's pretty much what it was. Okay. Then we had Liz telling them about how great her date was. Well, Kyra starts giggling. Disrespectful much? And, you know, Liz wasn't feeling that. You know, she was like, I felt like that was kind of disrespectful with me telling her about the rose and, you know, about that moment we had. And so Kyra says, you know, of course, Venetia locked down, child. So Kyra says afterwards, I wasn't giggling to be disrespectful to your story. I just feel like, you said, Jason said he made his decision a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's not what he was saying to me. And now I feel like Jason was being deceitful to me. Liz is saying that her celibacy is important, but that ain't how Jason was talking to me, and I just feel some kind of way now. And I just feel like, I would like to have a conversation with him. And Tommy says, you know what? You deserve that. So we're going to let y'all go out and let y'all have y'all little conversation so y'all can figure it out. And then we're going to have our final dinner. Because he said at this point, normally this is where somebody has to go home. But I feel like the couples are pretty locked and loaded. So why would I send somebody home when I feel like all of y'all have found a connection? So we're going to have a final dinner. And we're going to see where we are there. So Kyra and Jason have a final dinner. And basically, like I said, I feel like Kyra is in her feelings because I think a part of her is like, how dare he not choose me? That's how I feel. It was a how dare he not choose me? She says to Jason, well, Liz said that you said you made up your mind a couple of weeks ago. And Jason was like, I did say that to her. I said, okay, Jason. He said, I was still entertaining the idea, but yeah, like you couldn't commit, and me and Liz, I did sort of feel how I felt a few weeks ago. So then she says, well, had things gone differently, basically she was like, had I chosen you, would you have chosen me? And he said, no, we'd still be where we are today. He said, me and Liz have a genuine connection, and that's genuinely who I want to be with. And let's be clear about this whole celibacy thing. It ain't Jason's idea, but what Jason said, because remember when Liz first said to Jason she's celibate, he was like, well, I could commit to that. Jason never said he was celibate. Let's be clear. If you was giving it up, he was going to take it. But what he said was, I can respect where Liz is coming from, and I can be celibate. That's what he's committing to. And I feel like that kind of like hit Kyra. And Jason said, listen, Kyra, what do you want? What is it that you want? You need to figure out what you want, because at the end of the day, I'm not sure. Like at this point, where we are in the process, the fact that you still are not sure, I don't know what it is that you want at this point. So then they have the dinner, all the couples are there and, looking all nice and all booed up and everything. And Kyra said, I didn't think I would feel any kind of way seeing Liz with Jason, but I do. And I'm like, girl, you just want what you can't have. Because had Jason chosen you, I feel like you'd be doing the same thing side-eyeing AJ. Because then AJ would be there with Alexis, because Liz would have went home. And I feel like you'd be doing the same thing. You'd be side-eyeing Alexis, trying to figure out and feeling some kind of way. You just want what you can't have. What you really did was you wanted both of them. And you just couldn't have them. I mean, that ain't how this game goes now, Next week, we're doing the Meet the Family episode. And again, I feel like this whole episode was wasted. I feel like once AJ chose Kyra and sent Alexis home, then we should have had the Meet the Family episode. Because this whole episode was just a waste. Like, this whole drama between Kyra, Liz, and Jason is just, child. I mean, we could have done that while we was meeting the family. I feel like we just prolonging it at this point. Anyway, that's what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.